Chuck Collins, born on third base, a one-percenter makes the case for tackling inequality, bringing wealth home, and committing to the common good. In Born on Third Base, Chuck Collins unravels the deepening wealth inequality in America, elaborating on the various ways the richest 1% have amassed enormous wealth while the rest of the people, the 99%, continue to struggle. The book exposes the influence of the political system, charitable organizations, media, and Wall Street on this growing disparity. Collins argues that this widening gap is adversely affecting the environment, the common welfare, democracy, and the quality of life. The author emphasizes that it is essential to address these issues, to ensure a healthy society where opportunities are indeed available for all.
Inequality, the 1%, and economic rigging. This summary discusses the increasing wealth gap in America, primarily caused by tax cuts for the rich instated during Reagan's presidency. Since then, the top 1% of Americans have become significantly richer, while everyone else has lost financial ground. The 1% employs 5 ways to rig the economic system in their favor: political influence, charity sector influence, media influence, organizing networks, and partnering with Wall Street game riggers. All these tactics culminate in the fact that the combined wealth of the 400 richest people in the U.S. surpasses the total wealth of the poorest 150 million Americans. In the same vein, the wealth of the world's richest 1% is worth $42.7 trillion, while the world's 3 billion poorest people's cumulative worth pales in comparison. Additionally, the summary mentions how the U.S. borrowed more than $1 trillion between 2001 and 2010 just to provide tax cuts to people making $250,000 annually. Wealth inequity had existed for long, but Americans were previously okay with it, believing that hard work could lead to riches for all. However, the 2008 economic collapse proved that prosperity was not within everyone's grasp. Wealth inequality, a threat to society and democracy. Wealth inequality threatens not only individuals but also the environment, housing, leisure time, society, democracy, and children's schooling and health. As the 1% continues to accumulate wealth and power, the quality of life for everyone else progressively worsens. The U.S. society is characterized by enormous disparity, and a small group of super-rich individuals, who change economic and political rules in their favor, is responsible for it. Corporations and business parties to the Wall Street inequality machine labor to influence politicians to favor the rich and powerful, neglecting the negative economic effects of their actions. However, America faced a similar period of growing inequality during the Gilded Age, and with the right progressive leaders, the U.S. reversed excessive wage and wealth inequality, and so can do it again. The wealth inequality experiment. For decades, the U.S. has been experimenting to see how much inequality it can handle. The top 1% of the population, specifically the super-rich, have accumulated a vast amount of wealth in the past few decades, which is not a result of economic cycles, but rather a man-made event. Economic, corporate and tax rules have been altered to favor financial assets, leading to a wide wealth gap. The majority of Americans now believe in a more equitable distribution of wealth and want big corporations to pay fair taxes. The Occupy Wall Street movement highlights this issue, calling for universal healthcare, affordable housing, and quality education for all. Corporate malpractice. Multinational corporations use various strategies to take advantage of inequality. They prioritize their rights over their employees, discard them, and lobby for favorable policies. They also control the media and evade taxes while benefiting from government-provided public services. Financial speculators reap the benefits without creating any tangible value for the economy. Such malpractices need to be addressed to reduce inequity and promote a fairer business environment. The consequences of inequality. Inequality in the U.S. damages the entire nation, affecting physical health, social mobility, and public services. To fund political campaigns, representatives must cater to the interests of the wealthy 1%, who also hire lobbyists to ensure government policies align with their agenda. This concentration of wealth leads to gated communities and a scarcity of mixed-income neighborhoods, tearing apart communities. It also stifles social mobility, contradicting the once popular notion that hard work and dedication are the keys to success. The U.S. now offers less financial mobility than other industrialized countries. Lower taxes for the wealthy mean less money for affordable housing and public health care, further exacerbating financial struggles. The overall message is that inequality damages the quality of life for the 99%. The danger of wealth inequality. The widening gap between the super-rich and the rest of the population could lead to an economic catastrophe. The 99% has been struggling for decades, since their wages have stagnated while the rich have become wealthier. Despite wage stagnation, most Americans maintained their lifestyle by using credit. The economy flourished in the 1980s, but it relied heavily on credit. In 2008, when the bubble burst, the speculators in the 1% lost their vast wealth. The book highlights the importance of the middle class and the danger of wealth inequality. A society with financial equality has greater economic growth and stability. Building a more equitable economy. The American economy can be restructured for greater equity by raising the floor, through universal healthcare and a higher minimum wage, leveling the playing field with better education, campaign finance reform, and fair trade rules, and breaking up wealth and power by increasing taxes for the wealthy, reducing CEO pay, and closing corporate tax loopholes. Wealth inequity is a pressing issue, and citizens must take action by engaging in politics and educating themselves. Many leaders, including President Obama, oppose inequity, and socially responsible individuals in the 1% support the 99%.
At the heart of Chuck Collins' Born on Third Base, is the message that the present wealth and income inequality in America is not sustainable and will inevitably lead to more significant socioeconomic issues. Various factors, including political influence, media ownership, and Wall Street involvement, have contributed to this inequality, which has far-reaching implications for society as a whole. The book presents a call to action. Individuals must bear personal responsibility for tackling wealth inequality and engage in the political process to demand change. Ultimately, to build an economy that serves everyone, it is crucial to pursue policy reforms and changes in corporate culture that promote equity and shared prosperity.